is going on, people? What's that?
Okay, there we go. I did it. So they probably caught that.
I don't need it. Yeah. You don't have it muted. You guys don't have it muted.
Dude, there it is. What's going on, people? How y'all doing this fine April day? You know what? I just noticed that, like, did you know that whatever intro, however long the intro is, the intro gets considered as part of the son of a bitch. The intro gets considered as part of the damn, like, time.
Yes.
Not that it's ever like 30 minutes long, but with 2 minutes, or like in this one's case, 4 minutes, it's like, well, that adds on to the time. So we need to consider that when we were talking about our new idea last week.
Yep. 2 more weeks, people.
Why are you so damn hype about your helicopter, bro? I saw a video. Like, okay, so it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Is it kind of cool? It's kind of cool. 2 more weeks?
Let me ask this. Where's that Nova tutorial?
Hey, did you see? Well, you didn't see, but he changed his mind. He said he wants a Javelin tutorial now. I don't understand why you'd want to change it up for Javelin, but I mean, Javelin is cool. It's just you do understand. Javelin is a straight line, like
it's a rock,
pure straight line kind of. Yeah, it's like But I'm glad you people are here, because I got a question about tonight's topic, which is going to be like, I really wanted to get into this one. I hope OAE makes it a prince, because I'd like to ask him too, because I've seen pictures of his planes in particular. So you need to do a flight video. Somebody else needs to do a flight video too, but I understand why you're not doing flight videos. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, people.
So, the question was, and Mark made me think of this.
Fool.
Well, Mark didn't really actually make me think about it, but I've been asking him over the course of the week about, like, how he's built Spider V1s through V4, and I know, like, V4 is retired, right?
Man, I don't remember.
Because it's the small one, and the small one didn't work. Now, the small one is the one you made out of the legal sheet, right?
The small one I thought was like 2, wasn't it?
Well, but why is 4 retired then? I thought the small one was the one that you retired because it didn't work, and the one that's retired is 4.
I don't. You act like I'm supposed to know everything.
You're supposed to know this shit.
Act like I'm supposed to know people.
That's good. You should do that, yeah, because that way did we get excited about this heli that you got there. So I'm gonna look this up here. I'm gonna go into the Spider V4 and see if this is the one that you did. Yeah. But like the helicopter's not gonna make that cool of it. I mean, doing what it does, it'll be cool, but like it is just gonna like go up and go down. So I mean, you know, when did you build Spider? Oh wait, no, yeah. Okay, no, you're right. Okay, V2 must be small. Oh my God, dude! You only gave it 3 days.
Oh yeah, but you know.
You rolled it out. You flew it July 5th, and you retired it. Well, you gave it 6 days, but then you retired it the 11th because apparently it blew. How the hell did it blow so bad that you retired it that fast?
Because it did.
So Spider V4 is the bomber. Okay, so all right. Well, V3 is the bomber too, but that's your fighter bomber. So that's Chinese menu. The V4 must be made out of calendar paper. Wait a minute. So what is V1 made out of then? If V2 is, or V3 is the one made out of Chinese menus, or is it not? Wait a minute. I don't get this. If V4 is the biggest one, V3 is the next biggest one, and then V1 is the standard size, what's V1 made out of? It can't be.
I thought it was made out of Chinese menu.
Well, it can't be. Well, I mean, I guess it could be. But then what do you make the V4 out of? If that's your medium bomber, it's got to be the biggest one. Okay, so what is V3 made out of? Because it's in between the sizes.
What's that one made out of? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back through them.
You apparently are, because...
And I remember saying that I was probably going to go back through them and change everything because...
Oi! Thank you.
Saying
You're
it
here.
because,
Hi, Oi. What's going on, man? I'm glad you're here.
I was saying that because I was saying that because...
Why would I got to
why was I saying that?
Why were you saying that?
Fuck. I was saying that because, guys,
oh my
I
God.
have no idea how many spiders I have.
Oh.
And I was debating on whether or not it was going to be size or if it was actually going to be the version, like size, or if it had to be an actual change in the way it was made to be calculated as a version change, like all the other ones that I've done.
Right.
Spider was like the oddball where it was literally just different sizes, and they were all made the same.
Okay, that's right, because that's what you were talking about with the new V6 and V7 and shit. Okay.
Right, and that's what I was saying with all the newer ones. Like, okay, well, these are newer because they're made different. Let me go back and look once I get settled.
Okay.
To give you guys a full rundown of what is what and what is in, what is out, what is coming, what is going.
All the shit that goes on. Yeah.
What is fallen and what is not, and what is all, whatever.
See? Didn't I tell you? Look, Abby's here. Abby is asking about the javelin. See? He said like no more that he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that Nova. He wants javelin now.
So
what made you change your mind?
I don't want Nova. I want javelin.
It's gonna look about the same. It's gonna fly totally different.
Please, pretty please, with a little please on the side.
I may be able to compensate. I just want you to know what you're getting into because javelin is like, I mean, there's no glide. If I put this up there and you build it and it glides, there's something wrong with it because it is a straight line, pure interceptor.
It goes as far as you throw it. That's it.
Yeah.
Javelin is not. It's cool, like watching it. Like
it gets there straight. It gets there fast.
As a bystander, it's cool watching it, but throwing it physically, it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
And that's why I built so many Thunderbolts because they're easy to make. But I don't personally think they're definitely not my favorite. They're probably all my least favorite ones to actually fly.
Interceptors probably should be because, again, there's nothing special about it. They just go straight.
The only times that I think I've had fun flying them is when we attach model rockets to them.
Yeah.
And actually either make them go further and explode or launch them out of the wing. Rubber band launch.
Launch. You did full markings? I want to see this. Like really, everything? You put the roundels on it? Did you put the Did you put fin codes and stuff? You guys.
Nobody put the roundels.
You guys got to get the roundels, man.
Somebody's gonna be getting roundels.
Well, look, okay. Even if you don't have roundels, you could at least draw them on there. In
really. About probably 2-3 weeks.
Are you really gonna get some?
I gotta, yeah.
I told you it's relatively cheap, and I'll give you the diagram. I've got it saved on my computer, so you can take it to Avery website, and put it up on a thing, and then just take it. Like I said, just take it to the place. Doesn't cost like $3, $5, whatever, however many you get made, and you got like a row of stickers you can put on a bunch of planes. Because we only recommend putting 2, but if you want to go crazy, go crazy.
Oh, so you went somewhere to have them printed out? I thought you just ordered them online.
No, because Avery Online has the template maker. So if you've got like you just put in whatever label you're going to make a pattern on, and it puts it on there, and then you could like save it to a drive, and then you take the drive to the Staples or Office Depot, and they print it out. You buy the labels, and they print it out for you. Boom, you got them. I mean, you could do it at home, but I just didn't really want to waste my ink, so I did it that way.
Oh yeah. Don't they have a service that'll actually like send them to you?
Yeah, they do. I just at the time I didn't. This was pre-COVID. I didn't have to worry about going to get them. So but yeah, they do. They will send them to you.
I ain't even worried about that. Like I ain't no care about no wrong.
Right. Full markings. I've got to see. I'm kind of excited. I got to see it. You know what? I told you. Hey, I told you too. Javelin, and in Mark's case, Thunderbolt, and in y'all's case, whatever.
Shows how to build phase 3 now.
Whatever you've got, whatever you've Apex, whatever you've got that is your interceptor is good for the rubber band launch. Because again, what's it gonna hurt? Ain't gonna hurt nothing. You could use the extra weight, and then it'll probably go further. Like Mark says, it's not gonna. It won't take.
And I'm probably gonna build a machine, not necessarily build. Like I'm probably gonna like fabricate something. You know those like football launchers?
Yeah. Like the electric
discs.
Like the electric plane launcher that I have.
Yeah, but like a little bit bigger scale, kind of like a football launcher.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can do something like that at some point.
So do you? By the way, guys, do you see this up here? Are you? Did you witness this?
Show us now how to build a base.
I mean, it's not gonna be. I don't know, man. It's not gonna be like a. I already did a phase 1 on the show.
Yeah, but how to builds really should be.
Well, how to
like,
builds can
separate.
be. How to builds can be on the show, but yeah, they really should be exclusive to our company's channels. So, I mean, for the most part.
Not only that, but.
I mean, if it was an SMA, like if Mark actually was back on the damn camera, we could probably do an SMA build. But then again, we'd probably be doing a new build too, so y'all could build it with us.
Yeah, but yeah.
So hey, look, no, dude, do you see this thing though? You check this out. This thing. This is one of these, but you see the way it looks. You see how. Is that the one
that was on the roof?
This is the one that was on the roof. It finally came down after spending 5 nights on the roof, including through 3 rainstorms. Notice the nice curve it's developed on its wings. It's actually kind of cool, but it's supposed to look like this. Yeah, it don't look like that no more.
That's how mine looks.
It finally came down. I'm kind of admiring that wing curve it's got right now. I couldn't do that. That's actually kind of impressive, but yeah. So after 3 flights, it spent a few nights up there, and now it's toast.
We need a whole like 48 hours to do a Zeus.
We do. It's true.
Unless we break it up into like 4 parts.
Why do you not want the Nova now, though? I mean, especially, man, compared to we do need to break Zeus down to 4. Hey, wait. Zeus ain't as bad as Omniwing like he was talking about, though. I mean, Zeus is bad, but it ain't gonna be probably like Omniwing Zeta bad. I don't think. I mean, he was talking that thing, boy.
So you're saying so 2 shows?
Probably 2 shows, yeah, just to make sure we get it right. Special weekend. Oh, this might be one what you and I was talking about where we kind of blog it. You know what I mean? Like you were saying. We might have to do it that way. It's probably the best way to go about it with this one. So.
You guys don't even know what's coming. That's the best part.
Well, yeah, none of us. Well, truth be told, you don't know what's coming either. So you got ideas, but you don't know how they're going to be implemented yet.
Yeah, no, sir. You just wait.
Apparently, roundels are coming, so I'm happy.
It's just don't even know.
I'm just surprised it took you OAE this long to actually make one fully marked up. Because, again, you changed bases, so you only got you got the reserve base, but you've only got the 1 base. So again, it ain't hard to throw ST on the cover there. So
right? It's not like you gotta sit here and figure it out like I do.
Right.
Like, still over there. Gotta figure them all out. Got 50 million bases that we gotta freaking put stuff at.
I'm trying to debate on whether or not when I do with the dude. Hey, by the way, I counted the bases, and you practically caught up to me, especially since I closed some. So don't even give me that crap.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, people. That's what I'm saying.
For those of you that only got one or two bases,
I'd be happy with 2 or 3 bases. I'd be happy with 10.
But it is fun having them at different places with different squadrons. So you know,
but it is a nightmare trying to keep track of
it is a nightmare trying to keep up with them.
You guys, you're lucky you don't move or haven't moved like we have. And, like,
I'm just trying to find ways to actually use those same things that make roundels and put little squadron patches on the side of them too.
I will say, all joking aside, I wouldn't trade any of it because I am where I am because of all the stuff and all the craziness that's gone on, and every single move it's gotten me to this point.
I mean, it made you what you are today, so you know.
Yeah, so just think about that whenever you guys are going through it. Like, if you're going through it and you're miserable, just remember there's something great on the other side. And I don't mean good, I mean great.
Well,
and I say that from experience multiple times, but I never knew what was going to be on the other side of homelessness. I really didn't. And if you would have told me that this is where I would be 6 years after going homeless, you guys, like, I would have just like walked away and like, no, you're nuts. But here I am. Here I am, spending $500,000 on a house.
You cannot stop caring. You got to be able to do. You got to be able to put, like, I mean, okay, he saw. You know, you can't give him, like, Mark. I don't know. Abby's been asking you on your channel too. Did he ask you?
Yeah, I responded to some of them.
I gotta. Well, you're in the
notifications on the phone though. That's really.
You're in the pit.
That's really.
You're in the pit. You can't build quite yet. I'm just trying to get my videos sorted through.
Yeah, I'm up to my ceiling in boxes, like, no joke. Like, my living room's full of boxes, like, packed. My bedroom's full of boxes, packed. My office, the booth is completely down. I've got, like, just literally PC. I've just got a couple of PCs that I got to put in boxes, and then, like, TV's already off the wall. And I've got this big keyboard over here that I got to put into somewhere. I don't know how I'm going to pack it yet, but I literally only have like a handful of items that I've got to put into a box, and then my office is packed. You know, everything else is the only thing left we really got to do is pack the kids' rooms, and that's mostly because we don't want to pack all their stuff away
before you get a chance to go.
Yeah, 2 weeks before we move, so I don't want them arguing with me about I'm bored. So we're leaving their stuff for like the last like 3 or 4 days. Like, we just throw everything in boxes for them and then just, you know, call it good, because I'm taking off extra days before I actually pick up the truck. So I'm off like 5 days before I actually pick up the truck to make sure that we have everything in line and everything is packed, to where when I go get the truck, all I got to do is show up at the house, load it, have the house inspected by the property manager, and roll out the next morning. And it's going to take me, you know, two days at least to drive up, because I'm all the way down in the bottom stinking part of Florida. And I gotta go all the way up to the top part of Wisconsin.
I just want to throw that.
How big that stinking state was. Oh man, it's bigger than stinking Florida, man. You guys don't even know. Like, I gotta go through Florida. It's gonna take me. It normally takes like 5 hours for me to get out of Florida. It's gonna take me like 8 towing this stinking RV, at least. And then I still gotta get through all of Georgia. Like, I gotta go right through the middle of stinking Georgia. Then I gotta cut through Tennessee.
Damn it! There's dust on it. All right, I want to bring this one out.
Then, like, I'm gonna. Let me look at this.
So wait. So I gotta put. I gotta do the phase 3 and the. Okay, wait. Before I do that, I had to put that up there, Oi. I had to show everybody because you were talking about having the markings on there, and I wanted to rehash one of your damn videos because it's been so long since we had one. And, like, even if Abby gets one from you, it's going to be on Instructables now, isn't it? So.
That is. So, yeah, I got to cut through the middle of the stinking.
I want a flight video! You got to give us a flight video.
I cut through the corner of Kentucky, but I cut through right in the middle of stinking Illinois.
But there ain't no way
and I got to
do.
cut right through the middle of Wisconsin. So, I go through the middle of almost every single state on the way up except for Kentucky.
Well, you could go through the middle of Kentucky, you're just choosing not to.
Yeah, I could go through the middle of Kentucky and take me the same exact amount of time.
I go through the middle of Kentucky every time I go down there.
Yeah, I'm not going through the middle of Kentucky.
I was trying to get, I was trying to see if I could go in order with the phases and do phase 1, 2, 3. Like, not worry about. And the thing is, when I teach you how to build phase 3, you could basically build phase 5 because the only real difference, and it's always made us here at SIL wonder whether or not we were going to consider phase 5 an actual different phase. But Mark helped me, like, figure that out. Well, I mean, not literally, because when it happened, it wasn't really up for debate. It was before I met him, but, like, after the fact, I've been debating it for like a decade, and like me and Mark talked about it, and we're like, yeah, it's a phase 5, so it's like something different.
You can't. Yeah, the biggest thing is intent, and the fact that if you make fold or like mostly like a cut or something like that, and you can't revert back to the previous version.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a new version. Like, you can't cut the nose off of something and then expect to put it back on unless you staple it or glue it or something. And then even then, it's not exact. So, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work, right.
Well, you still going to get a Nova tutorial.
Well, yeah, eventually all of them are going to be up there. So, I mean.
You get every single one of them. You just got to be patient.
I got it. Oh, wait, yeah. Hold up. We got one more. I totally forgot about this. I totally forgot about this one also.
Because he doesn't know which one he's going to make next.
That's right. That's for you, OE, because, again, you had to have this. I got to have this on there, so.
I already know which ones I'm putting up in what order.
Well, I've got a list. Like, thanks to Abby, I kind of know how I'm going to do it. And I've gathered together the ones that are going to be on there, so I know that Javelin, Nova, Phase 3, Phase 4, Quill, Vampire, and Wyvern are all going to be up. Oh, and Lance. Lance is going to be up there, so. Because I've got the preamble set up for those. I'm trying to figure out if I want to, like, set the background, like, have background music back there, like, slightly faded through the run, or just leave it, like, quiet like I normally do for, like, the original How to Builds. I'm kind of leaning heavily towards that, but.
Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to put music in it, but I really probably am not.
What made you go with the Javelin all of a sudden?
You don't.
It sounds to me like he might be in the middle of a war and he wants an interceptor bad. Like, Abby might really be, like, possibly going to be battling somebody. There might be somebody out there.
You just want something that goes really far.
Yeah, but do you want it to glide nicely, or do you want it to just, like you said, shoot it like a? Do you just want to basically take a baseball and throw it because that's what a javelin is?
Yeah, is that what you want? You just want it to get there as fast as it can, or do you want it to look pretty getting there?
Well, that's the thing. He's also asking for the phase 3, so it's like, well, that's basically two planes that cover the same distance. Just one of them does it gracefully, while the other one just does it bluntly. You should, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, once you build a Vulcan, you've got variety of Vulcan. I mean, the Phase family has a variety, nowhere near the variety Vulcan has, but I mean, I could always, once I do that, and Mark, I meant to ask you about this if you thought it would be a good idea. Like, if I do, like, okay, I'll redo a Phase 1 build and put it on my channel, but do you think I should include, like, the variants, the little sub-variants of each one? Which is basically adding the tech onto them?
So, I would not, like, you could, but...
Well, I mean, you see OAE does his.
Here's what I would do.
You see OAE doing that.
Yeah, but here's what I would do as far as the video goes.
Okay.
I would do your base, since you're gonna go back in time, I would venture to say that you should do the base model of that plane.
Right.
And then, either present some that are already made with tech, or put up a list of saying, hey, these are just a quick little blurb screenshot of, hey, these are the ones with this tech. These are the versions with this tech, and just have it like a little end screen.
Yeah.
Like just pop it up on the screen after, at the end.
So see, yeah, okay, that'd be cool. All right, yeah, I could do that.
I would do that. Either explain it in the video and visually have them already done, and not actually do the build, because tech is tech. It's not gonna take you.
Right.
And there's no point doing a whole
video
just for the tech at the end.
Right. No, that'd probably be the best.
Tech is in the middle. Even if the tech is in the middle, you can explain that.
Indeed. Okay. That sounds reasonable. Yeah. I think that sounds like
I would do a whole new build on that.
Okay. See? And this is how we brainstorm, people. This is how we get these ideas we talk about. What the hell?
Because personally, I'm going to do one of each. I'm not one of each version, but one of each plane, active plane.
I see there's the Turbo Buffalo. How did I miss the Turbo Buffalo? Okay.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah, the only reason I'm asking about that, I'm looking at it because, if I were to do what OAE, what you did with the Vulcan, if I considered the phases variants has different types and still they are, I'd have about 36 or so as well. So we're kind of even with something like that. It's just, they're not different planes to me. They're just, that's still base, that's a base phase with some tech. So we just have different ways of looking at it. I had to go through my sheet to see that. So, and taking away from a couple of them that were basically the same damn plane anyway, just built a little differently to alter, like a B phase 3 versus a C phase 3, for example. They're the exact same size, built the exact same way. It's just the sheet that is used. So, I obviously will condense that down to one. I did that. So, but I'm looking through Phase 1 didn't have any variants. I mean, the Phase 2 was a variant at first because I initially called it the Phase 1M. And then I did away with that and it became a 2. And 2 got the letter F before the 3 was built. And 3 got the letter I before the 4 was built. And yeah, it got a little diluted there. Actually, no, it got to L. Oh, wait, whoa, excuse me. It got to O. Can't keep track. Yeah, but I mean, you're right. That'd probably be the best way to do the video. I think that's a good idea too.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the way I would do. I mean, it's almost positive the way I would do.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would waste video.
And see, if you wanted an interceptor, see, Robert's got his, Powell's got the IR7 out there, and you've got all the Vulcans. Is there an actual video to those? Because you do have a small amount of videos out there. Which ones do you have? You have the Omni-Wing. His channel shows a few things, but it doesn't show the advanced Omni-Wing. Oh, that's not his. Never mind. That's not his. Oh, the Sky Streak is on there. Okay, the Owl, the Spectre. Yeah, it don't show some things, but so yeah. You still have to do it at Instructables.
That's where you left.
Yeah. But, okay, wait. Now, I got you guys here. I wanted to ask you all this. All of you, seriously. All right? If KIA was here, I would really be talking with him on this one. But, okay, the key thing here was we were talking, like, if you see this, does size matter? I wanted to ask you about this. I want to talk about this, okay? Because, and this is a good one for Mark, you too, because we're talking about the tech, right? Basically, I want to start out by asking, do you guys consider upsizing or downsizing a tech? Like if you take a plane, no matter what it is, if your standard size is this, and you decide to build it bigger like this, or you decide to build it as he did, Mark, you did, smaller, the V2, is that a tech, or is that just like I'm just upsizing and downsizing? What do y'all consider that? I'm asking that. All y'all. You can give me some inputs. What do y'all think about that?
I know where I'm at, and I know where I need to go back and pick stuff. So.
Well, the reason I'm saying that though is because, in case you guys hadn't noticed, and I mean I've noticed, this is a Banshee. You see, I've built it before. You guys have seen it, right? And you know what Banshee typically does. You know it's like one of my close support planes. So because it's a stunter, right? This one does not do that because it's this size. This one basically flies in a freaking straight line. Okay, I mean it may actually kind of like swerve a little bit in its flight, but it basically flies in a straight line because it's this size. I mean a little bit has to do with the weight, but mostly it's because of the size. And if any of you guys have upsized any of your standard planes, no matter what they are, you've noticed this. If you upsize something as a long range, it doesn't usually work in its favor. It usually takes some of the range away. But if you upsize something with short range, or loops like this, it doesn't loop anymore. It glides. So this is why I posed the question to you. Do you consider it a tech? Because it's not what you get. It would be the same thing if you took any of your planes, or you made a brand new one out of like calendar paper for us, right? Okay, you make a brand new plane out of calendar paper. It's nothing you built before. That's your new design, right? I'm like, okay, I fly it. Oh, it's cool. It does this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then you decide to shrink it down and say, well, what if I made it out of regular notebook paper? It's not going to fly like it did as a calendar sheet. Which again puts you the question, is that a tech? Because you're not getting the same plane anymore. And for Mark, that's even more depth because, like, is it the same plane? You're making all the same folds, but you're not getting the same flight. I don't know if any of you guys, have you guys done that?
Yeah, but unless you're really changing, hear me out. Unless you're really changing the folds on it, changing the size obviously would change the flight length, if you want to call it that, the duration and the range, but it is not a different plane. That's just like taking a 737 Boeing and just putting a different engine in it. It's still a 737 Boeing.
Right.
It's just got less range or more range.
Right.
You're not changing the plane anyway, other than the actual motor.
Okay.
The only difference is the motor on the plane is usually the size of it in the force that you're able to throw it with.
Okay.
That's the difference. Is that if a smaller plane can't take a harder throw because it's not built out of the same type of paper, or if it's built out of stronger paper, you're able to throw it a little harder. But still, like, those are the only two variables really there. Is that how hard you're able to throw it, and how much the wings can actually keep the thrust there.
And like, okay. I see what you're saying. All right, and because
technical about it, that the body of the plane itself has not changed.
Right, because you're making the same folds. Yeah, you're making the same folds.
You're making the same exact folds. If you're using the same dimension, like same ratio on a smaller paper. Now, if you're not using the same ratio,
Banshees, yes, Abby.
You know, I mean, yeah, you could still get away with saying, well, that was my intent, because I made the same exact folds on this size paper, and this is what I got. Well, I mean, you could get away with saying, well, it's still the same plane, but it may look completely different. And then that's when you have to kind of go with, well, is it the same plane? But if you're losing the same ratio of 8.5 by 11, and then you just upsize that, 4 inches, across and 4 inches down.
Abby's trying so hard.
So then now you're, 12.5 by, 14.
Right. Yeah.
Then you can still make the same plane and just make it bigger. That's where I have to go back and say, well, did I make what size was the paper, and what was the ratio, and were they all the same? I know they were all folded the same. So the question now comes, okay, what did I do differently? If I didn't do anything differently, then I got to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, these were all V1. And it's just going to have to be V1F and V1B. V1S.
Right.
V1M, depending on how I want to go.
Okay.
And then go into V2, and then go into V3 with the difference of tech.
Okay. So yeah, and apparently that's agreed upon, because Robert just said that too. He's like, it sounds like tech. I mean, it's not. Again, like Mark, like you pointed out, if it was like in real life, it wouldn't be. But you're just slapping a motor onto a different plane. For example, like you said, that was a good example. So right, but in our world, it just making them out of paper. It does sound like a tech, because you're altering its flight. It's the same bird because you fold it the exact same way with just a bigger sheet. So it's a tech.
Well, yes, but tech can change the variant of a plane.
Yeah.
It just depends on what tech you are talking about. Are you talking about type of paper, or are you talking about cutting?
That gets into it. Yeah. Right. That gets into it too, though. Yeah, the different types, because if it's lighter or heavier, you're going to have something different as well.
Yes, but then to me, weight of paper will change the flight and that, but I wouldn't consider that a different variant. Like an entire, I may consider it a subvariant. Because if it flies better with the same folds, then okay, obviously this subvariant of this Dodge paper is better than notebook paper. But it's still the same version. Like, it's still built the same way. That's like, like I say again, it's like taking a regular airplane, a 737, and whatever it's made out of right now, you take it and slap all carbon fiber on it instead. It's still the same plane.
Right.
You're not changing anything else there, but now you've just made it 1,000 pounds lighter. Obviously I'm just throwing numbers out there, but now you've just made it astronomically lighter by just making it out of carbon fiber instead of making it out of steel and aluminum and all this other stuff. You just made it simply out of carbon fiber.
Indeed.
So yes, it's a tech, and yes, it is now lighter, but it's still considered a 737. At least so far, they haven't done anything crazy like that, where they've completely renamed a plane just because they use different something, small like that.
No, but they will show you a different variant because, well, again, the 300, the 737, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600.
Yeah, they may call it a 737C. If they don't already have it, I don't know what they got.
Like Robert, for example, you give it rubber band launching, but you don't really, you don't do it on every plane, but you do it in a lot of planes. So, but you don't indicate that you've installed the hitch and a rubber band launch capable, or do you? You don't like R8 doesn't have, like, for example, it doesn't have RLC on the end of its name. OAE, you don't put, like, if it's got MUPS, it doesn't have a specific variant name after it. It can just carry MUPS, right? So that's basically the same thing. And that's why I want... Wait, I'm sorry. Let me get back on it a little bit, though. Is you guys have... OmniWing Zeta is a great example. Zeta is that 4-foot wingspan one, right? So that's a bigger version. Does it fly the same as your regular standard, only about, 15, 16-inch wingspan OmniWing that's standard? I assume that's standard.
So listen to this. So most of us probably already knew this, but I haven't really looked into it. The 737 versus the 737 MAX is only a different engine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's not. So it's literally a sub-variant of the 737. They're not changing the model of the plane. They're not calling it a 747 or 757.
No, right? No. They never did that. The way they had it done up was like the 100 and 200 were the launch models or whatever. Then they had the 3, 4, 5, which are considered the legacy of the classics, and now they have the 6, 7, 8, 9s, and then they went to Max, which is like you said, they're more economical engines. They have max range for right now, but the only way they differentiated theirs was the numbers after the 737, which is what Boeing's always done. The numbers indicated the length of the fuselage, the stretch. And then they also altered, like, it gets very, in their case, it gets very muddled when it comes to their numbers after the model number, because, like, different...
Max 7, the Max 8, the Max 9, the Max 10.
Yeah, well, not only that, but, like, different operators want different things. So what Boeing did was, like, if they, like, say, Iceland Air wanted Pratt & Whitney's, well, the same, like, if it's a 737-600, Iceland Air wants Pratt & Whitney's, but BA wants 737-600s, but they want Rolls-Royces. So they changed it, so it was like 737, 7C7, or 7E7, after... or 7EO, or whatever, after the end of 737, to indicate that they got different engines, or they got different passenger seating, or whatever. So there's a whole mess of different combos after the 737. Yep. So, like, keeping track of those is like, holy crap. It just depended on operators. So, yeah, you're right. And that's where, again, like us, that's where different tech gets involved, because you have to do Metavulcan and Type 29 to indicate all the different little things that they've gotten. Or like mine, well, phases, it's easier, but it's a little harder, and it's the problem like you're having, Mark, where trying to figure out what you're going to call all the little tech and what they're going to be accepted as. Like, what am I going to call it now that it's got this and it works, So,
yep.
You can see where it gets to be a problem.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at as far as, Spider goes. Spider is going to go through a complete revamp, probably within the next 30 days.
Yes, I have.
I say that I'm gonna completely have revamped all of that and given that a new naming convention.
A new naming convention? Why? I thought you were gonna keep the names.
Well, mostly it's gonna be determining what is V1, V2, all the way up, because V6 as of right now may not be V6, maybe V4.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back and
What the fuck?
And redo
Those look familiar?
all that. I can't give you the phase 3. I can't. I don't have that kind of technology. But
You could do it. You've played the phase 1 and the 2, so.
I have.
Don't worry, guys. Like, you get excited for like what Mark's got planned out and stuff like that. And I've got some pretty good plans too. Like once you get the new how-to videos, I almost made Abby. I almost made you the video with the Nova just bass stripped down, so I could like add what I want to add to it. Because again, my biggest problem is I just want to make sure this video's right. I know I keep saying it, but I'm serious, man. Video editing takes a lot out of you, and I'm not 14. I don't have all this time on my hands, so I gotta freaking work, So I gotta make sure I'm doing this damn work, and I can't be. So I've only dedicated a certain slot amount of time to actually get this crap done. It's the reason why you haven't got it yet. But I mean, that's all right. Yeah. It's almost right, and like I said, I almost broke down and just gave you what I would consider a shoddy video of like it stripped down and then putting all the rest of it in there. I mean, I don't know, Mark, if you'd consider that. Like, I mean, we have our plans, but we could just, if somebody wanted a how-to video, that we go ahead and throw them in there and like we strip it down, right? So it's just basically no intro, no background music, because YouTube offers you the opportunity to install that later. So I was thinking about making it raw, just like here's the how to build. I'll install that shit later. But I really kind of didn't want to do that. I wanted to get it all right because it's like there's a platform for them, and they're all going to be the same. I mean, with little obviously differences, but like the platform is going to be the same, just like ours right here. The intro is the same, the outro is the same. So. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to do it. I was going to do it that way, and I'm like, no, I want to get this right because once I get it right, it'll be the first field test, and it's like, cool. That way, all I need to do is just change the basics and then do the show, and there you go, right? There you go. So, maybe when Mark gets back on, the first thing we'll do is we'll do like a brand new SMA play or something like that, or maybe, no, actually, what we should do, Mark? Seriously. Your first video back, unless you've got a plan otherwise, we haven't talked about this, but I think your first video back, we should rehash like React, because you did want to work with it and want to make sure we know how to build it again. Unless you've been doing it as part of your Wonder Days.
I don't have it on Wonder Days.
Okay, so but you were interested in it, so it's like maybe we should just do another React build so we can get it right, and then you could have like another one to work with. If you want. That's just an idea. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, there's obviously so many things we could do, but,
might be an idea.
This is just three of the OAE builds I have right here. I don't know if you've seen them before or not. Well, one of them you have. But, yeah, dude, these big-ass birds. Oh yeah, because I got the React video up there, don't I? Yeah, React is pretty cool. I know it was hype. React looked good, dude. That could be one of the best plays we've came up with. And then again, we also need to go back and like name these bitches because we don't have names on a lot of them. But anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, getting sidetracked on it though. So basically though, I mean, I got it out of Mark's, and you guys will give me some input, but like. I'm just kind of curious also as to like furthering the flights of these planes that we've talked about. When you've enlarged these, I think it especially entails making them bigger. If you start out with a plane that is out of your standard A4 notebook size sheet, right, and you make it out of something bigger, we typically use desktop calendar paper. You are most likely. Robert, it probably won't affect you as much because tapering into blended bodies, you create like a totally different animal. But for those of us who fold, and you do fold some, I mean, I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying. But like for the folding, it's a different. You're getting something different. You're going to get like no plane stays the same like that. There's just no way. I mean, a lot of times when you build them that big, they don't ever want to do, even if you have a stunter, like I proved that Banshee, it doesn't want to flip anymore. It just doesn't do it. And you could play with the weights and the balances and all that stuff Mark was talking about, touching on. Like, you could play with all that and still end up with a plane that glides instead of stunts, or vice versa. And my point also was thinking on it for us, okay, here at IVPAC, here as contractors, okay, if it's not tech, or rather, I'm sorry, scratch that. If it is tech, it's tech, but does it, like, I introduced Mark to saying, like, okay, if you upsize a Thunderbolt, you've got your bomber or you've got your transport, because you know it's going to fly straight, you know it's going to be a flying in a straight line and stable, right? Okay, but every other plane you can upsize will do the same thing. A Swallow will do this, a Viper will do this, a Diablo will do this. What amazes me, what makes me think about this really hard is, does that mean we've just doubled the size of our fleets? I mean, do we all have, like, there's no reason for anybody not to have, like, a heavy bomber or a heavy transport or something beyond that, right? Because you can all build, like, any plane you've got can be upsized. Mark, have you ever built a Swallow out of calendar paper?
I think I did.
Did you really?
I think I did.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still a prime example. What did that thing do?
Flopped. It flopped.
It flopped.
It flopped. Flopped. It flopped.
Okay.
I think it flapped. I think it wings like literally just flap.
Cobra's got a very large fuselage. Yeah, huge guy. But this goes. Oh, wait, this goes for you too. Any one of yours, have you made them out of something bigger than your standard A4 sheet, or your standard notebook sheet? Have you made them out of a Chinese menu or a desktop calendar? And then what was the end result? I mean, if it would severely surprise me if any of you guys made a plane that big out of something originally this small and it flew the exact same way, or even a variation of the same way. I don't expect it to be, okay, I use, that's a strenuous term, it's not exact, but if you could get a stunter to be a stunter and build it, 4 times the size, I would be extremely shocked. I just don't think it's possible.
I didn't work for me.
Right, didn't work for you. Doesn't work for me.
I'll try it again later. Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
All right.
You guys just hang tight.
I remember doing it with an Osprey from back in my day. Osprey was the progenitor of Banshee. I retired it when it came up. It was a flop. Okay, so like the same thing, but it didn't. It didn't fly like your standard ones, and you considered it a flop because when you fly a Vulcan, I bet the wings do. That's kind of why I said that for Robert's sake, because if you have a blended body, if you have a flying wing, it probably is basically the same. Especially with blended bodies, I think if you're upscaling it in airfoil, because a flying wing is, again, it's a flight airfoil. If you're upscaling it airfoil, you're not changing too much. I bet it probably does work as good. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but it's about the same. It's every other plane that is more affected by this sizing thing. And I believe the same way it says for the obverse. Like you guys that don't have, if you're working on transports, okay, some of you guys need a little bit more. But I mean, to take any one of your planes and turn them into transports, just by upsizing, I think it works out pretty good. I would never consider this big a Banshee as a transport, but it could be a bomber. And trust me, the thing is I've lived this. I have lived this. If you go into combat, you go into war, upsizing all of your planes to turn them into bombers temporarily, good thing. Works out really good. I highly recommend it, especially if you know you've got a stable plane to start with from a smaller version. So, I haven't put anything out there except you'd have to go back to a show about a year ago to make the Phase 1 available. So, I don't think on my channel I have any phases out there. So I'll make them. It's just usually we don't usually use the live show for something like that. We usually make other people's birds or something like that. And before you pick on me, yeah, I know we haven't done it in a while, but we're working on that. We have ideas to talk about, so I haven't done it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do.
We do. So
yeah,
this is one I thought about 2 days ago, and I was like, I have to get this out there. I want to make sure. I want to see if any of you like what you guys have gotten out of your planes. So, I mean, the small ones to a certain degree, because the small ones are a lot different, and like depending on how small you go, depends on. Well, I mean, hell, you can't track them. I mean, if you were to build. I don't even know if you'd be able to build a Vulcan. Some of these Vulcans are like some.
I don't even know.
Certain text, but I mean, if you were to build, say it was the size of the canard on this one right here, for example, would you even be able to damn track it? And then we're talking scaled flight, because seriously, this thing, if this thing were to cover like, if this thing were to cover your front yard,
now he's hitting up on the Viper.
You're gonna get you, man. If you were to build a plane this big and it were to cover your front yard, that's a huge flight for something like that, is it not? I mean, seriously, that's like I can't even imagine, right? That's like a long range plane if it just covers your front yard, if it's this big, and if it goes into somebody else's yard, that's astonishing. But that's scaled, because I mean, a regular size one of these and it could cover somebody else's yard, you just consider it a standard long-range plane. See what I'm saying? So, and usually, for some reason, that we've had experience with this in the recent past, Mark can attest to this, scaling down doesn't work as well. You make a smaller plane, and as you guys just point, it's usually a flop. So, I mean...
Yeah.
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 Wait a minute! Pal, you made one of these? You mean like this one or this one? Did you get a chance to like? I know. We always ask this, but I'm usually going to ask this because, well, I love to ask OAE if he's made a flight video for us. But did you get a chance to make that tapered version of the Spider? Because I was really, like I said, that's intriguing. When we were talking about the tech on these new birds, my little ND-19-3s. With this no tail thing, so I don't want to tell Mark that. Well, I want to tell Mark that my design failed because Spider worked, but we're trying to get Spider to actually work. So I almost literally want to take it down to nothing in the back and turn it into a true flying wing back there and see what happens. Because I don't think Mark has done that. NASA's, you done that?
Not.
Okay, so you've always had a rudder back there. So
yes, I don't do that craziness.
Yeah, so
I don't do all that nonsense, that tomfoolery. Ain't nobody doing that.
No, Abby, no, it's fine. Talk all you want, bro. We're keeping track of you. We ain't mad at you. Or at least I'm not mad at you. Like, there's other people probably in the background. Ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got I ain't got no feelings. I give two. I was about to go old school. 2 big piles of monkey poo. I don't care that much.
And see, because you guys, like, your drones are tiny. So that's what I thought. I mean, we talked about that, but your drones are tiny. So I'm not like drones are, well, again, I only consider drones the truest sense of the word, drones to be shot at. So I also have a problem with people in real life calling those radio-controlled helicopters being called drones. It's like, dude, it's a radio-controlled helicopter. Give it a fucking program. I understand because it's got like 3 or more rotors. You want to call it something else, but seriously, for all intents and purposes, it's a radio-controlled helicopter.
Chugging down a cold drink. It's all hot in here. Can't wait to get out of this stinking weather.
Dude, it was okay. I mean,
it snowed the other day up there.
No,
I was so mad.
Okay, like we had 70 degrees last week. which was a fluke for April. So it's back down to normal temperatures, although it was only like a high of 39 today, that's a little fluky for right now too. It should be right around the high 40s, low 50s right now, and it will be that way. I think the rest of the month. It looks like our long range forecast shows that. So
and in the beginning of May, it is going to be in the 40s and 50s.
Well, no,
unless it flukes out.
Well,
and does what it did a couple years ago, quite a few years ago, and snow twice. Did that back in 2013?
Yeah, 2013.
2013.
Right?
Yeah, it was 2013. It snowed twice in May.
Well, you guys call those drones. I just call them tiny planes, and I don't use them. The last time I used, NASA's has never used anything like that. Missile, KIA, Pharaoh, all of the rest of them. I don't think I've only used one I called the Gnat, and dude, the Gnat went straight into the reserves, and it was like, dude, I made it out of a sheet of paper, I think literally this big. It was a notepad. It wasn't like the federal government's notepads like me and Mark used to do logs with, but it was slightly bigger than that. But it turned out to be a plane that was probably about that big.
I'm curious as to what Avi's going to do with it once we give it to him.
What, the 3?
To anything.
Oh, well,
what is he going to do with the Nova? I'm just curious. Not that I care. I'm just curious.
Well, I mean,
he wants it as bad as I want to win the lottery. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. I mean,
do you make?
I'm just kind of. I'm like, I should ask you what 5 numbers I should pick. Because if I win, then I give you whatever tutorial you want, whenever you want it. Like, I don't even care at that point.
I'm gonna give you the Phase 9 tutorial. And you didn't even know I had it.
40. I'll give you the Phase 40. I'll just make that thing up right now.
You didn't even know I had it. That'd be cool. Phase 3 is so basic it isn't even funny, but the 2 is basic. That's why the 2 is retired.
He's gonna advance it and take the force over. You're gonna put all his own tech on it and come over here and attack us.
I was giving this some very serious consideration because I made an announcement before kind of that I actually really do have, like, the Phase 7 is in like D&T while the Phase 8 is in R&D. If those
and the Phase 9 is in D&D.
Oh no, the Phase 9 actually is in R&D as well now because I had an idea, and if it works, if it holds true, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I may retire Phase 3s. I'm very seriously considering retiring Phase 3s if the 7, 8, and 9 work out. Although
my goodness, are you gonna? So you're saying that you're gonna put? I got distracted with the lottery. So you're saying that are you gonna start building phases and 3s?
No, it's just the ideas came to me, and these all quantify as different phases. I was trying to actually see if the 7 and 8 really would be like, no, that's just a variant. But every time I look at it, by what we've talked about and what we said, like, no, 7 and 8 are totally different. And then the 9 is an idea I just had like 2 weeks ago, which makes it R&D. I haven't even built the example yet, but I did a Y13 thing, and I drew it up first. And you know me, I wrote a paper on it at first because I always do that. I type a little. Okay, so what about the idea of this? Little diagrams. Then I did a drawing of what I expected it to be. So now I just got to build one. Well, Phase 7 and a Phase 8, they've both had number 1 built. Phase 9 hasn't had number 1 built yet, but I've got the idea firmly. So wait, area 4. Oh yeah, tapering. No, tapering is a tech. We're just talking about this. Tapering is a tech. I wouldn't call. It'd be like trying to make a body, a blended body out of it, or something like that. And believe me, I thought about, like, if I O-body it, is it still a phase? But Mark would never let me hear the end of that one, though. He'd be like, wait a minute.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think it would.
You think so?
The O body, yeah, I think it still would be. I mean, because if that was your intent, and it still had, like, I mean, if you did it like Robert does and completely like sections the plane together, no, like that's different. But I mean, you, I mean, it's hard.
It is
You're
hard,
saying,
yeah.
you're saying. So what you guys are saying is if it's an O body, it had like you can't make the O body any other way than having fixed wings attached to an O body.
Right, yeah, that's the thing. And, like, for the most part, because you don't have a plane, I mean, you can do it, but you really have to watch how you use your paper if you want to make it where it's not attached. If it's, like, the same sheet that you made,
Yeah.
the rounded fuselage part of. You really got to watch that. And even if you do that, then you got to make sure, like, in my case, then the folds of the face have to match. The dimensions have to at least be somewhat in the neighborhood, and the folds have to match. And still give it a rounded body on the same sheet. And, like, if you picture that in your head, you're like, how difficult is that to pull off?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Right, see, I mean, it would be like asking you, can you O-body a Thunderbolt? Not that you would, but, wait, I'm sorry, that's a bad example, because you never would. If you, could you O-body a Diablo? See what I'm saying? It's like in one sheet. Because combining them, yeah, it's a lot easier. But you still have to go through the same thing, though. You still have to make sure that you're following basically the same procedure. It's easier, but you still got to make sure your folds are the same and your dimensions retain the same. So it's a lot more difficult getting the same plane out of it.
So let's think about this, people. You're talking about O body.
Phase 3 is like Exile.
Even if you go...
Oh, Area 4 is... I had a feeling. You were going to say that.
Even if you go...
I don't have a secret test area, you lucky bastard. Even if you go... I don't need a secret test area. My basement's my secret test area, and then I just go, like, into the woods. But, I mean, like, I don't care.
So...
I think it's cool.
Build the plane, just like you normally would.
I do have an O-body with the hitch. Yeah.
So if you build the entire plane and you cut the fuselage off and you stick a cylinder in its place, I could consider that a new variant.
Sorry, what? You stick a cylinder in its place of the fuse, like
so. Yeah, so think about it. Remember how back in the day they had those old coat hangers that had the paper tube on it for the pants?
Yeah.
Which they don't do that hardly anymore because it's not eco-friendly or whatever. I don't know what the.
I brought this one out before. If you saw this, like the O-bodies, yeah, here. Just so you know, yeah.
If you think about that, or even like a paper towel tube, and I'm not saying that big, obviously.
No, yeah, because you have that fat, you're gonna have a problem.
I'm talking about if you have something that's pre-made, like a straw, even like a decent sized straw, and you put that in place of the fuselage by cutting the fuselage off, and you put the plane back together with the paper, with the straw or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then, in theory, I don't see why you wouldn't just call it the next variant if you keep it and it works.
No, right? No, and you would. No, you would, because that's not tech. You're changing so much of it. By definition of what you and I had just said, it's like it's not going to be able to go back. You know, it's something totally different, and it requires more intensive
and it's the
construction.
Same exact plane,
right?
You did everything else the same exact way, except you put the tube on it. And obviously, the 6s and the 7s and the 8s and all that stuff, there's a lot going on the back end that you can't just slip a tube in its place. Like, you can't cut the fuselage off and then expect to put the tube in. Like, you may have to make like 4 or 5 or even a 6 maybe.
If I get it on, if I could get it on a 6,
and then add the other tech on afterwards.
Yeah, if I could get it on a 6, that would be, that'd be ridiculous. But that would be because there's a separate empennage on that thing, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So right. And this is also where we're leading when we were talking about hybrids, because an O-body, well, at least an O-body like what we're discussing here, that's basically a hybrid. You could make the tube just like you said. If this was something out of a cardboard or a fiberboard or something else other than paper, and then you gave it paper wings, or vice versa. If your fuselage is made out of paper and you gave it fiberboard wings, now that would truly be something different, because you know that in the case of a phase, you can't fold fiberboard like that. You're going to have a different bird because it's way too heavy. You're carrying way too much weight in different areas. You may just have to cut the wing in the same plan form. Again, you've got a different plane because it's like heavy wing versus
not folded.
Yeah, it's not folded. So in any case of any plane that you do that with, that's something totally different. That's a different creature.
No, it's not a different.
Tomorrow like Thursday or tomorrow like Friday? But Abby's tomorrow's already Friday, man. Come on.
It's 11 o'clock here.
All right.
So
do I have
my thought is that no, because if you take the plane and fold it, but like I'm saying, if you take the plane and fold it, and then you just replace the fuselage with a tube, even if you make it out of paper, like, it's still the same plane.
It is.
You're adding that tech on it.
Yeah.
Now,
but
if you don't fold the wings the same, then it's a completely different plane.
Well, and it depends on how you make it. It depends on how you make that fold. Like in this one's case, I'll use this one as an example. This is a complete sheet. Okay, these folds are in it to form the wing, and this would have been a fuselage, but I knew I was going to O-body this thing, so there is no fuselage. You see the folds, but I made these folds because I knew the O was going to sit there. The rounded part of the body, I needed something to hold it in there, right? So you're right. This is whatever this plane would be. If this was a phase, this would be a phase. It just have an O-body attached. But that's if you do it this way. If you don't do it that way, if you make it like just a regular, like you make these folds, but don't make this included because you made it as part of the wing, or you cut them, now you're talking something that really, even that cut will make a difference. Because if you have the cut, you could just glue that. You could just tape that onto the O-body itself, and it almost has no aerodynamic bearing on the rest of the aircraft.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that's, oh man. I kind of want to build one of these, like, upscaled again, like we were just talking about, making a large size, because that, like me and KIA were talking about, if we could get one of those built, that's why I'm trying to get him on the show, is one of these shows we get together. We're probably going to build the first, we never built one together, I don't think, so we haven't really named the company yet, but the KSA, I'll call that as a loose terminology, the KSA bird that we build that has, like, saber-tooth size, but it has a rounded fuselage and can carry anything because it's made on a poster board. Yeah, that's going to be a beast. And, oh, man, dude, we're going to have to borrow power. Mark, are you in on this? We could do this, and we can get all together on this. Our first plane could be an airlifter. We could borrow a poster board. We could put the O-body on it, and then we could taper the ever-beloved shit out of it so it blends into the wing. See where I'm going with this? It carries a shit ton of cargo, or it can carry a shit ton of bombs.
fly like a rock.
It might fly like a rock, but if like you should see it. I don't know if you ever had a chance to see his upsized saber tooths. You probably didn't. But if you've seen them fly, they do really good, considering they're made out of freaking poster board. I think boxes are the way to go too. Yeah, boxes are the way to go too. And now that I've done that with upsized phases that were cargo birds. The Sea Phase 2 and the Sea Phase 3 have both gotten box fuselages. Actually, one of them's gotten a rounded body, and Mark has seen that. Man, I should.
Yeah, I've done box ones on Diablo.
Yeah, yeah, you have, haven't you? That's right. I remember that. I remember that now.
Done that.
So, but again, now that's just a blended fold into the body, so that's a tech, right? Are we in agreement on that? I mean, is that a tech? Because you called it Diablo. You called it Diablo. I called it a Phase 3 when I did it. No, it was a 2. Excuse me, it was a 2. Truth be told, with those, I've never actually built a 3 because I figured it needed all the lift, so it needed all the wing area it could get. So I never actually made 3. It's always a 2.
I don't know if you would consider. I think we still consider that into the O-body category.
Okay. Well, yeah, square body, O body. Right. No, I got you. Yeah. I think when I get into it, and I call the O body, it really is like a hybrid. It's like a folded part one, and then the rounded body attached.
Ligation.
Yeah. I mean, those are always what I consider it. I mean, literally, if you hear me mention the O bodies, it's like this. It's not like one built into it because they turn out weird. The phase I've got that's like that.
I'm not doing a rubber band launch. I'm just telling you right now, I'm gonna hurt myself.
Oh, come on, man, dude. You could try it with Thunderbolt. Give me a break, man. Thunderbolt could be amazing with a rubber band.
I'm gonna poke myself and I'm gonna hurt myself.
every interceptor in the core will be great with a rubber band launch. This was stupid. I put it on here, and I think, this needs tapering, because if I rubber band launch this, I think I'm just gonna destroy this plane. I mean, dude, do you see this? The only thing holding this one together is basically this paper clip that's locked in by another paper clip, which makes the hitch up in the front. I haven't even taped it down back here yet, or glued it. That's a whole nother can of worms. Good talk on that, people. I like that. I would be seriously interested in seeing how you come up with something on the box fuselage for those. Especially since you built, the twin Vulcan. Obviously, that didn't work, but could you imagine if you boxed that? You could hold a whole nother airplane in there. Oh, man, that'd be amazing. I mean, it wouldn't be big. It'd be something, it would be smaller than these, but... Anyway, I can't wait to try to fly this thing now that it's been on the roof. So, see if it... Oh, yeah, it sucks. Never mind.
The roof.
Yeah. I let it stay out there on purpose, people. We talked about it, but I said, I let it stay out on purpose because I was like, no, I can't be all climbing on the roof and getting the golf ball retriever down just to get the golf balls planes down, even though I saved 3 others from the roof that day. I'm like, nope, you know what? Screw it. Not in the mood for this every damn time. And we said, dude, when I was 7 years old, when I was 10 years old, when I was 20 years old, they went on the roof. Well, actually, that's not true. When I was 20, I saved them. When I was 14, I didn't save them. They just died. You can't be saving every damn plane. You just can't. Or you could just taper them all so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I want to wait, Mark, I gotta ask you this. Hold on a minute. I gotta ask you this. Are you sure you think we could possibly make this so that 3 or 4 or more of us will be able to be in on the show? It'll be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Because I don't think
gotta get the setup
right. I don't think OAE is going to be in. He'll probably chat off with us. So maybe we can get a big ass conglomerate, but KIA, maybe missile, maybe jet. We could have quite a few people involved, so we could maybe do a big old build, or we could just build each other's birds. Like I said, once a week, or one each week. So maybe one of Abby's Oh wait, Abby's planes are ours. I think Abby's just trying to get some planes of his own. Man. That's all. I don't have to worry about that. My gutters have gutter guards. That's why it came down. It slipped right off, even though it took like 4 days for it to do it. Because like, can you see the texturing?
Who has gutters?
Can you see the texturing right there? Yeah, that texturing. Yeah, it's because when the rain hit it, it just batted it down. I can't believe it dried out to where it is.
Right into the shingles.
That's actually, dude, seriously, that's actually why I used to have to save the planes.
Pelted by the rain and the shingles.
In South Carolina, our house didn't have gutters. Our next door neighbor did. So whenever they went on there, I had to actually get it down, or else it would spend the night in the gutter and really die. But I didn't have to worry about that on my house because it just went right off. South Carolinians they're like kind of hit and miss with gutters because what does it matter? Up north here, I don't know, I guess they're required. Everybody's got them.
I think a lot of it is because of the snow when it melts.
Probably, yeah. You probably
don't want it all sliding off the roof like all kinds of crazy. I don't know.
It all depends on your pitch. If you don't have a good pitch on your roof, they do sell snow sweepers that are designed to get snow off your roofs because it's something you want to do. Because if you get too much snow on a roof, you could have a problem.
Yep, I ain't got that problem. I got a steep roof.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So, but like, if you got other ideas on this, I mean, if you have like any of you put the tutorials, Robert. Okay, I'm still anxiously awaiting what you do with that spider then. And okay, I'll try to build the paper heli. See, I've got this list of shit I gotta do. I gotta build the paper heli. I gotta build the rocket, right? Gotta finish the rocket up. Still gotta build OAEs. Well, which one OAE? But I gotta build a couple. I've got some. But I need to show you the one with. I'm gonna do the flight video, the one that I built like with your high fuselage, because you need to see that. And we all got to get together and do like the Omni Wing or something on the weekend. But Mark's got to get back into a base and into a, have a little video command center. Yeah. But like, yeah, I want to see yours, and I want to see like, now I'm really curious to see if you guys upscale anything. I want to see like if you guys build a bigger version and what it does. Like, if you've never thought about trying it. And I want to know, like, what I really want to know is, like, what will it do for us? I mean, I don't know why. You ever wonder how, like, people develop, like, sliced bread? You know, you ever heard that phrase, best things in sliced bread? Because you used to have unleavened bread, right? It used to just be a whole loaf, and you just ripped off a hunk. And it's like, goddamn, why did it take 100 years for them to figure out to cut it in slices? Wow, we can make sandwiches. Anyway. This is the same thing. It's like we've been doing this for like God knows how long, and why the hell did I just not think of this now? I mean, first of all, we gave each other the idea. I gave him I built Javelin into a pylon because seriously, heavy duty plane like that, upsized, great idea for a transporter or bomber because it's structurally sturdy when it's huge. Powerhouse, you don't have that problem, Robert. You don't have that problem because you taper shit. But I mean, I naturally gave it to Mark. I was like, Mark, take a Thunderbolt, upsize it. Perfect size for a transporter or bomber, and it's structurally sound when it's that big. Okay, you got it. But now it's like, well, now you can do it with every plane. And if you can do it with every plane, what does that do for us? Seriously, I mean, like, does it double our fleet size? Can you make every single one of your planes bigger? And what does it do? I mean, okay, yeah, it could be a flop. But if you go in with no expectations, I mean, if you go in and you have your best plane, like in your case, Mark, if you went in with a Spider, or fuck it, if you went in with like Ekron, okay, and you upsized it. If I go in with a Phase 3, upsized it. Robert, I'm going to leave you kind of out of it because, again, you have a blended body, so it doesn't affect you as much. But OAE, if you upsized, what did you say you did that was a flop? I mean, but either one, if you did another one, if you Cobra'd a Titan and you upsized it, again, like, if you expect it to fly like the one that's only this size and it doesn't, you consider it a flop. But what if you don't go in with the expectation? Don't go in with the standard. Just fly it thinking, you know what, that actually flew pretty good for what it was. It just flew straight.
I mean, if you need a large plane to fly straight, and if you don't have a freaking bomber or a transport, you need a large plane to fly straight, what have you got to lose? You might be able to, maybe you'll find something else in it. You know, it's like, if it works, if it really works, then you might have a replacement for a strike plane. It just happens to be big. There's no shame in that game. Shit. I want to throw, because it opened my eyes. I'm thinking, like, damn, I could upsize every single plane I've got. I'll upsize a Goblin, for crying out loud. I'm actually really anxious. You've seen, I've got to upsize Diamant. I've got to upsize Banshee now. And none of them fly like the other ones. See what I mean? So, hell, I had Nimbus and I downsized it and it became 6.
Like a rock.
They are not like rocks, damn it. They glide. If you've got enough, if your plane is designed well enough that it can be upsized, it will at least glide. It will at least glide. Mark, have you tested the upsized Thunderbolts yet? You haven't had a chance to do that, right?
I mean, I've built it, but no, I have not tested it.
They've not tested it. But if that one even glides just a little bit, the rest of all of your planes will not fly like a rock. And you don't need it to fly like, again, you were looking for it to be your heavy transport. So you only needed to go the length of your yard. You don't need it to go like 3 yards over. If it does,
30 acres.
Dude, if it would, it'd be great. But if it doesn't matter. Because your expectations are low.
When you say the length of my yard...
Well, that's your problem. That's the problem. And we talked about this. If you remember, we talked about this about a year ago in the show. It's like, it's the length of your yard. Doesn't matter what your yard is. If you have a 30-acre yard, well, that's on you, brother. You better start building some longer-range planes. I've got an acre and a half. I've only got to worry about covering that. See what I'm saying? I only need to strike into somebody else's yard. You, on the other hand,
they ain't coming into my yard to begin with.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I'm gonna know.
Are you sure I can't get a phase 3 into your yard from across the street?
You ain't getting it over there. I got too many trees.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You ain't getting it over there. I got way too many trees. And that's what I'm saying. Like, my yard itself is literally like probably a half acre.
A Sky Warrior? A half acre, yeah, well.
But I've got 30 acres of woods. Right. I will be clearing some of it out.
Yeah, you better be. You ain't gonna have no plane to fly.
Yeah, I do have a big open field on the backside of the property, though.
When do you want to make it? When do you want to make this Sky Warrior? You mean like? Well, Abby needs to learn how to make the damn Sky Warrior.
It's Friday.
Tomorrow
was Saturday.
We're not going with Abby's time, man. For him, it's tomorrow's Friday, and I wish it was on his time. Wait, it's not. No, it's not yet. So yeah.
Wait. Tomorrow is Friday for him, because that's right. We're on Wednesday.
That's right. The show is on. Man, that opens my eyes too. It's like, seriously, I can't believe.
I keep forgetting that. Or no, oh my goodness. Tomorrow is not Friday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Why are you in the future?
He's a dude from the future, for crying out loud.
That's what his problem is. That's what it is. He's asking us to do this stuff because he knows where we're going to take it if we just build it. Because he's in the future.
He's in the future.
He can see it. Oh, see, that's the other question. Is if we all build it and we're all in different time zones.
I'm not even going there, man. I'm not even going there, man.
Which one is number one?
I'm not even going there, man. I'm not even going there. That's why I said, like, if you put your plane out there, like, dude, seriously, I don't know if you've given this some thought. I don't know if any of you have given this some thought, but OAE, yours is on Instructables. Robert, you've made videos. Mark, you've made the videos, right? Even I have, right? You've got How to Build Thunderbolt out there. You've got How to Build Spider out there. Do you know how many you could possibly have built?
Oh yeah, I don't keep track of those.
Even if it's just like one every 2 views, because let's say they just watch and don't build. Even if it's one every 2 views, how many of each plane do you got? Do you keep track of those?
I ain't keeping track of those. So I ain't gonna worry. I don't care, dude. That's why when you and I do it together, and when any of it does it together, it's like, who made the last fold? I don't care what time it was. Who made the last fold? That's the first one. I mean, it's a little bit easier if you're sitting in a circle, but like you and I mean, yeah, you built it, but it's like midnight at your time, so it's the next day or whatever. We try to avoid that shit, but it doesn't matter. Who made the last fold? That's the first one. I should say the first last fold. When you completed it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because if we started right now and we ended in, say, an hour, well,
Sky Warrior wouldn't take that long.
well, I'm saying, but it would be an hour from now, so it would be Thursday, my time. It would be after midnight, so then, but in Central Time it's still 11, and it's, still Wednesday. Well, who's this first, and why is one on a different day?
Whoever made the last fold. Seriously, that's how it would be. Like,
so,
I mean, if we were
if the date.
If we did it like on this show, if we did it on this show, and it would be like it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement. But seriously, if OAE, if Abby even, and you and I built this, one of them would have to text it in there and just say like, okay, I did the last fold. If they typed it in and said they made it before us, then theirs is first. Whereas if I got it done or you got it done and you said like, there, it's done, okay, yours is first. But it's that last fold. Whoever completes the last fold.
So you guys are saying that it's not the person who comes up with the last fold, it's whoever finishes the last fold first.
Yeah. The last fold to complete the plane. Tweaks are different. If you're using it like you put a rudder or bullshit like that or whatever, if you do some add-on tech, that's one thing. But you complete the fold to complete the plane. Whoever does that last one, that's the first one built. Because then it's done. So,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's always got to be the way it has to be. I mean, literally, the plane is complete. So whoever completed the plane first. And that's the first number. Unfortunately, you can't really get any better. I mean, because seriously, if you can come up with a better way to do it, I wouldn't know. Other than, like, you want to draw straws to make sure that ahead of time it's like us flipping a coin to decide who's got the first fold. We could always set some kind of parameter at the beginning and say, like, okay, let's make sure you're the one that completes it first. That way you get the number. So you go in ahead of time knowing that, like, you'll have the number one in sequence. We could do it that way. And we might have to if you get like 5 people plus involved at the same time. It's like, okay, the last fold's going to be this, but let's round robin this. You do it first so you can have number one. You know what I mean? We could in that case, you could either do it at the start of the plane. It would be like flipping a coin again. It's like, okay, flip a coin to see who's got the first fold, and then flip the coin one more time to see who's going to have the last fold.
I see that. I could see that.
I mean, that would just take the guessing out of it. Like you said, if you don't want to know, like, if it's like a race to finish it, which I don't think it would be, we wouldn't race. We're trying to get it right. But, I mean, if you don't want to worry about who's got the coding, and to you guys, it might not matter as much because you guys don't care about it. Well, you should care, but you don't care about coding as much. Me and Mark and the rest of the boys kind of care. So it's like, I want to know I've got number 1. I want to know I've got number 5 or whatever. You really want to know if you got number 1. So it matters. So again, like, yeah, you might want to go in not blind and say like, okay, let's like say pick a number 1 through 5. It's 4. Okay, you get the last fold. Boom. That would keep it simpler, and that would make it easier to figure out. I can go with something like that. If you guys can go with something like that, I can go with something like that. So far, we haven't had to deal with it, but its time is coming. So I think OAE cares because OAE cares if we get the coding right on his birds. I asked him how he wanted me to code the ones that I built of his, and they've got his codes. So he knows what I've got. Mark, yours the same way. You know the javelin that you've got of mine, and I know, or like, I've got a couple of your spiders that I built. You know of them. You know which ones I've got. So That's the whole point.
I know what you got.
That's the whole point. You know, like, because we try to keep track of the end of it.
You know what
That's
I
a little
got.
bit harder, but Mark's trying to make it easier with the database. So, you know.
Oh, there's one of those coming?
Told you I help you with that shit, but we need a database, man.
Oh yeah, I got some ideas for that.
Like if we get that database and we make it available to all y'all, then it'll be a little bit easier. But then again, all of us are going to have to go and spend $80 on a freaking barcode scanner, unless you can figure out a way to do it as an app on the phone, like a QR code, and it'll make it a little bit easier.
Actually, right now, let me look at something here.
If we can QR code that and put that, do you imagine, guys? You put a QR code on there, like just a simple QR code, scanned it by your phone, and like instantly it tells you, hey, this is the one that belongs to the 112th Attack Squadron at Stearns Air Force Base, or IAB. See? That's what I mean. That's what we want to be able, the QR code to be able to do, or the barcode to be able to do. And then it just plugs into the database. It may be a little bit more intensive than it sounds, but it'd be way, way cooler. Yeah, and because, Robert, you haven't been involved in that yet, because we were going to do, ironically enough, remember, we were just going to set up some kind of joint. You would get on board and talk to Mark about like getting on the show, and then Mark got grounded. So I see. Oh, by the way, I see that Sky Warrior is a little bit bigger than we was expecting. So hey, yeah, that it's a good one, but it's simple. So I can see that's a good one. You're right. We can do that. I thought you wanted us to do the Omniwing though. That'll be like that could be like one of our first special episodes back over the weekend or something. Where we're just like, hey guys, we're back. Mark's officially back. We got a couple shows under our belt, and then our special weekend show is like, here we go. We're doing this Omniwing build. Follow along.
Let's see here.
What the hell? Are you got something playing?
Goodness.
You playing something in the back?
No, I'm trying to.
No, I was asking Robert, because Robert's like blaring off lyrics over here. I may be altering my logo again too. Oh yeah. Oh. One other big piece of news I've got. We're already talking about this. Like I've already I didn't give. I mean the first threads of like possibly retiring to Phase 3 is pretty big news, but also I may be changing my company name. Not really. I will still be SIL. That'll never change. But I'm very seriously considering into branching off so that I have like a ground forces kind of thing, a regular industries, and then I'm thinking about calling it like the is the SIPA version, so it's like paper aerospace. I'm very seriously considering that. So it's because when I changed my logo, I realized that like the logo is kind of all encompassing for all we do here at SIL, but I kind of want to like, it'd be cool if the logo changes per what we do. If like you got the ground forces, you got the air forces, you got the sea forces, which is what the angled tri is from. That's where our roundel comes from. Yeah, I've been very seriously considering that like the branch that concerns itself with just the paper aerospace. I may just change. You're going to be getting a little long in the tooth and late in the game to be doing that shit, but I see you guys keep changing your names. Almost all of y'all have changed your names.
At least once.
At least once. Which, actually, truthfully speaking, I have done too. It's just been a lot longer time ago than I've done it. I used to be SC back in SC, ironically. But when I started, it was just the company. But now I made it Industries. But that change happened in 1990, so it's been a long time since I've actually altered it. And again, I wouldn't really be altering it. I'm just kind of making different branches of it. So, but seriously, guys, I want to know. I gotta know some of these updates. I want our updates, upsizing. I want to know what you guys come up with. If you can do it, if you want to do it, get yourself a Chinese menu, get yourself a calendar paper, and upsize something, anything, maybe 2 of them. Like, don't do your interceptor. That's too easy. However, if you do need like OAE, Robert, I'm not worried about KIA. Now I'm not worried about NASA's because he's done this too. But if you need a transport or a bomber, because it needs to be bigger than your other planes, upsize something. RR7, that's probably a pretty good example. Upsize that bitch. A Titan. No, wait, you're not using Titan. You're using Titans. Oh, wait, Cobras. Upsize a Cobra. I mean, dude, it doesn't have to fly like the small plane. It just has to fly. Because, again, for an airlifter, you're not looking for something razzmatazz. You're not looking for something spectacular. You're just looking for something that flies straight and level for about 30 yards. Give or take. Literally, that's all you need. Maybe 20 yards. Because, again, that's what the transporters do. They transport shit to the front line. So, if you can keep it straight and level and doesn't pitch up, you see what I'm saying? A basic glider, straight line glider, that's all you need. I wouldn't consider that a flop. You need a transporter. So, well, I mean, okay, you have one, but it's an idea, okay? That's what I'm saying. I'd like to see the end result of that. And by all means, shrink them. Because I also want to see the opposite end of the spectrum. What would happen to it if you made it smaller? I expect those to probably be more flops than the enlargements, but I'm anxious. Yeah, I know. Hell, OAE's the only one of us who stayed original so far. I think he's been OAE since he's been around. I wish your name was more than just freaking vowels, because you can't say. Why can I not say it without? I have to say each letter. We're gonna come up with a name for you. I'm just gonna start calling you Matt. Seriously, because I mean, dude, damn it.
Call him Gami.
I can respect privacy, but dude, I need it. Man. Sometimes when I say it, it's like, motherfucker. I know I'm suffering with the same problem, but you can call me Sil. I'll know. You type it up, we know, obviously, but if you say it, and we do a lot of talking, so, oi, yeah, oi, oi, yeah, dude, for real. Okay, people. All right. I want to cut this one short, though, because like I said, we're trying to wean this down. We had a good show. We did a good talk. We're up there. Abby didn't get his tutorial, but he will get it tomorrow. I thank y'all for coming out. I want you to think about what I was saying and see if I can get me some stuff. If you want to build a nobody, if you want to build, but at least try to upsize something or shrink it and then post some results. Let's see what we got. I'll try to get a paper heli up there. I'll try not to keep something from being on the roof for 4 days in 2 rainstorms. But yeah, people, me and NASA's got some things coming. One of the things is we're trying to cut this down because we kind of turned this into a vlog. So things are coming. We're gonna the screen will be a little bit different.
It's gonna be different.
We'll be back on Twitch when he gets back up, so be ready for that too. We will be back on Twitch, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, anyway. Thanks for coming out, people. Appreciate it. Good talk. Hope we have some good designs and good flights. Expect that this week. We didn't touch on the anniversaries, did we? Because I didn't touch on the last 2 weeks because we're forgetting. But if we've got them, get them good. I'm sorry, but, is it really a big week for anniversaries? Should I leave without that? I mean, for real. Has it been anything bad? God damn it. Now you're going to make me look. I don't want to look. I'm going to look. What day is it? It's the 14th. So, what have we had? Is anybody... Uh-oh. We've got one, don't we? I don't know why, but that number looks actually like it means something. Shit. I was not expecting that. Is anything yeah? Oh, god damn it. Yeah. What is today's? That's the 14th. So nothing born of this time is fly. Oh, yeah, there is. Hey, Mark, did you know that the Condor is 20 years old today?
Oh, my goodness.
The Condor is 20 years old today.
Anybody got time for that?
You do remember how to build Condor, right?
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
Oh, man. So we got quite a few actives. Most of mine just have to do with the... Oh, wait. No, that's not active. Never mind. That's out. So, Condor Quill, my trainer, will be 17 years old this year. in 3 more days. And Red Dawn for KIA is approaching its 9th birthday. Damn, 9 years. Dude, D, check it out. But Condor, 20 years today. Condor's been in the force. I don't know how much longer it's going to be there because I think part of this tourney and part of this stuff, like I don't think Mark actually remembered that, or NASA's even knows how to build a Condor, but they might. They might. I don't know.
Oh, what?
That's what I thought. 20 years active, and they've probably got nothing in there. I'm willing to bet it's not even on your active sheet, but whatever. Maybe it is.
It's not in my one of days. I'll put it that way.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, so
Who's got time for that?
Condor's 20 years old and probably ain't going to be much older unless he might have one. I'm just teasing him. He might have one. We don't know. But
I really don't.
Anyway. So, guys, we did that. You got the anniversaries in there. That's all I wanted to do. Thanks for showing up. Hey, stay safe out there. And you know what we say.